messing up again. Come on, over there, Britain.
It's not me, man.
No one sees that trouble but you.
I run digital for my company. It's just
User error.
Yeah, I feel like it's you.
It's telling me it's the wireless network. Guess wireless network.
I got,
There we go.
The other three people are on.
I know.
I'm on also.
Let me text my guy. Hold on.
I'm on.
you're live.
Get my guys look at me.
I got a guy.
You know a guy?
Oh yeah. We're all set. I got those all set.
Live.
We're all set.
Get done with this before we all sweat.
Yes.
Good pain. Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of August 9th, 2022. Ms. Borg, please call the roll.
Committeeman Britting?
Here.
Committeeman Delacour?
Here.
Committeeman Thompson?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Erickson? Mayor Lapani?
Here.
Attorney Willard?
Here. Please join me in salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Law 1975, that the notice of this meeting by the posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at 7:30 p.m. at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex, August 9th, 2022. First order of business, approval of minutes, regular meeting minutes of July 26, 2022. May I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 2022?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Congressman Das? Congressman Floor? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delacour?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Abstain.
Mayor Lapani?
Yes. Okay, that takes care of that part. So now we'll move right on to committee liaison reports. We'll move first to Committeeman Britting.
All right, we will start with social services. We have 2 slides to go through. So Hillsborough's Community Assistance Network and Foothill Acres have partnered throughout this year, 2022, to provide a bingo for Hillsborough seniors in an ongoing effort to bring awareness to the Community Assistance Network, or also known as CAN, which is the food bank, and the assistance social services provides to seniors on limited budgets. We now share the monthly bingo with Foothill Acres. Bingos are held the 3rd Thursday of every month in the multi-purpose room right over there. And any Hillsborough resident interested in participating can contact the social services office to register for bingo or the Community Assistance Network program. And on your way to the library, check out the display from social services featuring our seniors and all the activities that are available to all of our seniors in Hillsborough, from joining one of the chapters, A or B, to crafters, to dancers, to exercise classes, transportation, and so many more great services the township provides for the senior citizens of Hillsborough. Next is health, 3 slides here. Just a reminder that there'll be a back-to-school COVID-19 vaccination clinic for children ages 5 and up on Thursday, children or anybody ages 5 and up, Thursday, August 18th. 4 to 6 p.m. Here at the municipal building. There are free radon kits available also in the health department. That has nothing to do with COVID. This was somewhat in line. Lead poisoning is a serious medical condition that occurs when lead accumulates in the body. Lead poisoning is the nation's #1 preventable environmental health problems facing our youth, our young children. New Jersey state law requires physicians and or medical providers to screen all children for lead poisoning at both 12 and 24 months of age. My smallest guy will be going through that pretty soon, 10 months. The most recent statistics show that only 34th-year-old children between the ages of 6 months and 26 months have been tested, which is similar to both the average percentage of children tested in both Somerset County as well as New Jersey as a whole. This means that in spite of the testing being required by the law, the majority of children have not had their blood lead levels tested. So God bless you. So that's a really important lead testing for message out for children. So if you want to play it back on YouTube after this to listen more to that, go back or check it out on the website. If your child has not had their blood levels tested, please contact your pediatrician. or medical care provider and discuss how you can arrange to have them tested. So now the last section we'll talk about is recreation, which is Hillsborough, not only in social services and health, but we have a terrific recreation department for everybody that lives in town. In case you missed it, be sure to check out the pickleball courts at Mr. C's Park. As you can see, they're already put to good news. For those of you who are not aware, they're brand new and they look terrific. So great job, Bob and team, and the other Bob on the recreation team. As of August 1st, the Hillsborough branch of the Somerset County Library System of New Jersey shared its first story walk adventure. It's an interactive, nature-filled storybook journey hosted in partnership with Hillsborough Township Parks and Recreation. It's a way that, for those of you not as involved, it's how the township in different areas share services across different groups to maximize the benefits for everybody in the township. We are fortunate here in Hillsborough Township to have such a fantastic working relationship with the Hillsborough branch and look forward to our continued collaboration. So thank you to the branch for that. And the last part here is the story walk begins with a path through the rain garden outside the Peter J. Bondi Municipal Building, which is here. Then participants are encouraged to read along from one of the poster boards to the next. As they follow through, they can enjoy and interact with a featured story. And this featured story is Those Darn Squirrels by Adam Rubin. So be sure to check it out if you have young kids or you want to get them involved. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman Britting. Committeeman Delcor.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. It's that time of year where our tax assessor staff is going out and they'll be performing farmland inspections. As per the Division of Taxation, our farmland properties must be assessed minimally once every 3 years. So they're out there now. It'd be greatly appreciated for any of the owners of our farmland properties if they would work with the inspection process so we can make sure we have valid good figures for our property owners. From the finance group for our tax payments, one of the things we've implemented over the last several years is we've tried to get, as we've been in a state where people want to try to do as much as possible remotely and online. So we do have an online payment system where you can either pay with a credit card and keep residents from having to stop in or mail a check out. There is a little unique process you just have to go through. For example, if you had a block 27, lot 15.02, qualifier number C0007, you just have to put the block in box 1. You'd start the lot entry in box 2, and you put the 15 and then the 02 in box 3, and then box 4 would be the qualifier. It's a little complicated. You basically skip entry in box 2. It'll take you to the payment screen. You can enter in your checking account information if you want to make those payments online or a credit card as well. From our business advocate, we've talked about this the last couple meetings, but we encourage all of our restaurants here in town to sign up for Restaurant Week. It's coming up. It's going to be September 27th through August the 2nd. It's a free marketing program. October 2nd, sorry. September 27th to October 2nd. It's an opportunity for our restaurants to show off their talents and their best dishes, regardless of the type of cuisine that they serve. All restaurants are invited to participate regardless of the type of food that they do provide. And we also encourage all of our residents to go out and make sure they're visiting restaurants that week. You see a lot of specials, a lot of opportunities to maybe try some things in town that you haven't had a chance to get to. It's a great opportunity, and it's really been a good event that we've done the last several years. So this will be our 5th annual, and looking forward to that. If for restaurants that want to register, they can go to hillsboroughbusiness.org for more information, and also they can register on that website. Again, that's hillsboroughbusiness.org. And finally, we continue to accept grant applications for the Hillsborough Township Credit Card Advisory Committee. Applications are available on the Township website or can be picked up in the administration office. And that's for any Township-based nonprofit, senior, or youth organization. They can apply for a grant up to $2,000, and that's funded through the Hillsborough Rewards Credit Card Program. Completed applications must be submitted to the administration office by Friday, September the 30th, to be considered by eligible grant funding. Interested parties can complete the application by attaching quotes that you have. Try to do mostly tangible type goods so that we can validate what the money is being spent for. But you can attach a quote and submit those electronically. This has been a really great program for some of our nonprofit organizations here in town. And over the years to date, that program has awarded over $90,000 in grants to some of our community-based organizations. So it's been a really successful program. And anyone that's looking for some grant money for their local organizations, please go online and submit an application. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Commander Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things from me this evening. First, from building, you can now view your permit history, track the status of new permit applications, and receive inspection confirmations by signing up on our online portal. Please visit the building department section of the Hillsborough Township website for instructions on how to create a login to do that. From our engineering department, they would like to inform the public that the traffic signal at the intersection of Falcon and Sunnymead is now installed, but will not be operational until the electrical hookups from PSNG and the striping is completed. The signal should be operational within the next few weeks. The signal will be on a yellow flash mode at first to allow motorists to become familiar, then the stop signs will be removed and the signal fully activated. From our Public Works Department, a friendly reminder that streetlights in Hillsborough Township are maintained by PSE&G and not the Township. They can be contacted by going to the PSE&G's website or calling 1-800-436-PSE&G. The typical information required to report the streetlight problem is location, the nearest cross street, and the pole number, usually located on a metal strip attached to the pole. Lastly, if you are reporting more than one streetlight outage, each light pole will require a separate internet order. From our police department, I'm sure you've seen but there has been numerous bear sightings recently here in town. Black bears by nature tend to be wary of people. However, if you encounter a black bear in your neighborhood or outdoors while hiking, camping, follow these common sense safety tips. Do not feed the bears, never approach a bear, remain calm if you encounter a bear, and do not run from it. Running may trigger a chase response. If you encounter a bear that is feeding, do not approach it and slowly back away. A bear on a food source will aggressively defend it. From a safe distance, make the bear aware of your presence by speaking in an assertive voice, singing, clapping your hands, or making other noises. And for more information and additional safety tips, please visit the Department of Environmental Protection's Fish and Wildlife website. From our fire safety, oftentimes our fire marshal here in town are asked if a permit is required. Below is a short list of instances when a permit is required. However, it is not an all-inclusive list. For additional questions, please contact the Hillsborough Fire Marshal's office for additional information. First, if you have tents, depending on the size, you're going to need a permit. Cooking operations for barbecues, food trucks, etc., they will need a permit. Sleepover events, they will also need a permit if they're in non-residential buildings. Places of worship as a shelter will need a permit. Bonfires will need a permit for each one. Multi-purpose rooms for mercantile amusement or dance halls, they will also need a permit. So again, contact fire safety so they can make sure you guys are compliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander Thompson. So just to piggyback on Restaurant Week, I start my first tour event tomorrow. So it's a long, tough tour. There's a lot of restaurants in this town, so we're starting early. But stay tuned for Restaurant Week. We have a few follow-ups. We had some specific questions that were brought up at the July 26th committee meeting. So for the benefit of those who asked and the public, we've got some answers for those. First one was the maintenance of the Van Arsdale medians over in Country Classics. The DPW crew went out to the area and cut back the overgrowth. There are plans to redesign the three medians, which will include possibly removing the paver surface and replace it with more desirable plant material and mulch. All plans will take place in the fall for obvious reasons. It's a little hot and warm right now to assure the plants will not instantly meet a harsh summer like we've had and come to an abrupt end. So we are in the process of that. We'll update you as that continues. There was a question regarding the parking near the swim club. The PD did receive 2 phone calls regarding the parking issue at the swim club in late July. An officer was dispatched and no violations were observed. As a follow-up to Sergeant Mazzaro spoke with Ms. Boyce, who brought up the question and explained that while there were some violations in the picture she sent, there are limitations to the amount of enforcement action that can be taken. Sergeant Mazzaro did subsequently speak with a representative prior to the event who advised them that this was expected to be the one large event that the club would host for the summer. But for going forward, Sergeant Mazaris will contact the swing club to get a calendar of future events and tell them that the parking violations will strictly enforced going forward. Shift commanders will be advised to have officers conduct extra patrols in the area going forward. There was a conversation about updating the flood maps. So that's kind of a complicated answer here, so bear with me and I will try and explain to the best of my ability here without going too deep into the weeds. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our engineering department for further clarification. If a property owner feels that their property is not consistent with the current flood maps, they can request a map change through the FEMA website. Part of the map change request is that the Township Flood Administrator must sign a community acknowledgement form showing the Township is aware of the request. Tom Ballinger, who is our Township Assistant Engineer, is the Flood Administrator for the Township and has signed requests for property owners in the past. He advises property owners to hire a licensed surveyor to supply the elevations of their property as part of the investigation. The Township does not have a licensed surveyor in-house to determine the elevations of individuals' properties. Usually it is worth the cost of the property owner because most want their property out of flood zones, so they do not have to pay the costly flood insurance that is required. As far as the map update and major flood events, the Township reaches out to FEMA to discuss changes if we see something different than what was shown on current maps. That discussion occurred after Hurricane Ida, and we discussed the areas of the Township that were severely impacted. I was part of that conversation. FEMA, as part of that, their discovery investigation, will reveal the areas of the Township they see if any map changes are warranted. The bottom line is when a property owner comes to discuss a flood map issue, we guide them through the process they need to start with FEMA, and the Township will always abide by signing any application that we've brought to our request. So in a nutshell, if you feel that you're in a floodplain and you want to get out, it is up to you to survive the proof to get out of the floodplain. Post-hurricanes like we had with Ida, the Township did have a meeting with FEMA to discuss areas of concern, obviously that were flooded, to look into the maps to see if anything was changed. So that is why some maps are dated 2007, some are 17. It all depends on when FEMA actually will update a map based on requests.
And Mayor, I think the important thing was, I think the individual who brought this up kind of gave an indication that the Township was responsible for updating the maps, but I think the overall thing is that FEMA is responsible for updating the flood maps.
That's correct. So that is kind of direct answers of the three questions that we had at the meeting last week. We have some other things to talk about. Last week, we officially opened the electronic vehicle charging station here at the complex. The two-port electronic vehicle charging station is located in the front main parking lot in an accessible area that is marked exclusively for that purpose. Our sustainable coordinator, Mr. David Coyce, who's here, was a big part of that, as well as our engineering department, our DPW, and to put all the forms together to get that in. So we are one of the first public areas to have a charging station in the county. So I commend our people for being forward-thinking and providing services for those who need it in our town. Congratulations to our fishing derby winners. Last Friday, I had the pleasure of awarding a first prize to repeat winner, Angel Nikachuk, with a winning whopper of 12.2 ounces. Virik Kapoon took second place with a 6.4 ounce, and Anthony and Grayson Persuade with 4.8 ounces. It was a great event. Thank you to everything who came out. I think we had a few turtles caught also, which unfortunately did not qualify for the haul. But everyone had a good time, and we will hope to see them back again next year. On a more somber note, I'd like to thank all those who joined for the Purple Heart ceremony, commemorating the Purple Heart weekend, which is always on the first Sunday of August, August 7th in this particular case, where we pay honor to those who received the, as they say, the medal no vet wants. But with those who do have it are looked on with esteem because they obviously paid some of the stuff, the ultimate sacrifice. little history, that was started by George Washington, that medal, and the fact that it is the oldest medal or given out in the military to date. And on a reminder, coming up in just 2 weeks, August is our annual Rotary Fair, August 16th to the 20th. Hope to see you there. There's a couple of hot tips. A little birdie told me that Committeeman Thompson will be in the dunk tank, as well as Mayor Lapani. I will be there on Friday, and I believe Mr. Thompson will be there on Thursday night from 8 to 10. So if you want to come whip some softballs at us and put us in the tank,
Go for it.
go for it.
I'll be first in line.
You can.
Please do.
Bring your twins. And our last call for pictures to be submitted on the 2023 Township calendar. We are wrapping up the work for the Hillsborough 23 calendar and are seeking a few more scenic and seasonal photos from around the town to be included. Please send your high-resolution images along with a photo release form to the Township Clerk at peborg@hillsborough-nj.org. Each photo must be saved with the photographer's first and last name and location of the photo. The photo release form can be found on the Township website at hillsborough-nj.org. We are having again our second very successful annual Scarecrow Festival, which was great last year. We had, I don't know how many scarecrows, 30 or 40. I mean, it was a lot. During the month of October, scarecrows will once again grace the grassy knoll out in the front and the winding pathway beside the raid garden at the municipal complex. Some will be inspired by famous characters, some will be humorous, some might even scare you, but all of them will be carefully handmade and contributed by Hillsborough Township residences, businesses, youth groups, and organizations. See the website and tomorrow e-news for more information. As always, you can stay connected with all events and more via the Wednesday e-newsletter. Be sure to follow and like the official Township Facebook page and Twitter, TV29 and the Hillsborough YouTube channels, and Hillsborough alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. So that's all I have for news that's fit to print, so to speak. We will now move on to some proclamations, and I will be down in 1 second and call the first one up. Test, working? Okay. Our first Boy Scout, Adam, please come to the front. Eagle Scout to be.
Love that.
Face front, so I'd like to see you turn the proclamation the other way, so everybody can see it. It's okay. I'll take it from here. Adam Fitzhugh, a Hillsborough High School sophomore and member of Boy Scout Troop 1776, has earned the rank of Eagle Scout. Adam's Eagle Scout project consisted of restoring 16 park benches in Lewis Park by replacing all the wooden bolts on the benches and spray painting the supports. The project took 208 hours to complete with the assistance of 20 volunteers. Adam served as a patrol leader, troop scribe, and ASPL of programming. Adam was a member of the freshman band and jazz band, has obtained his lifeguard certification, and has been accepted into Hillsborough High School Wind Ensemble for 2022-2023. Adam has volunteered with the Silent Conservation Project, the Summer Camp Conservation Project, and assisted with the Run Around the Park and blood drives. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor, and the Hillsborough Township community do hereby recognize and extend our sincere gratitude to Adam Fitzhugh for having achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, an honor for both himself and for those who guided him, and we wish you all the best for a bright future. Congratulations.
I would like to thank my parents and my troop and Mayor Lapani for getting Eagle. It was very worthwhile, and I'm very proud.
Kyle, our second Eagle Scout of the day. Kyle Talland, a Hillsborough High School graduate and member of Boy Scout Troop 1776, has earned the rank of Eagle Scout. Kyle's Eagle Scout project consists of refurbishing the fire pit area at Ann Van Middlesworth Park by constructing a new brick pit with metal inner ring. A stone bench was placed by the fire pit along with a bucket of sand. Fire prevention. The surrounding area was cut back and weeded. The township provided directional fire safety and rule signs. The project took 105 hours with the assistance of 20 Boy Scouts and adults. Kyle has served as webmaster, troop guide, quartermaster, senior patrol leader for ski trips in 2018 through 20, the patrol leader for the West Point Camporee in 2019. Kyle volunteers his troop, including Relays for Life and annually the Midland School Dance for Midland. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and the Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby recognize and extend our sincere congratulations to Kyle Talland for having achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, and honor both himself and those who guide him, and our best wishes for a bright future. Congratulations, Kyle.
I would like to thank everyone both in and out of the troop who have helped me achieve this, and I think it's a good idea that I did it. No, you helped too.
Okay. And last but not least, by any stretch of the Galen. Galen Todd, a caregiver for Right at Home, a national home health care service with an office located in Hillsborough, has been awarded Northeast Caregiver of the Year by her company. Galen has worked as a caregiver for 28 years. She worked during Tropical Storm Ida and its aftermath, caring for patients even after her own family was displaced and her car was lost in the storm. Galen also continued to provide excellent and constant service for her patients after contracting and recovering from COVID-19. Galen Todd has a positive impact on their patients she cares for as well as their families, and is a true role model for other caregivers. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the mayor, and the Hillsborough Township Committee congratulate Galen Todd for awarded National Northeast Caregiver of the Year award. Congratulations.
I want to thank the mayor and the township committee and everybody that supported me in doing my type of work. I love my family and I thank them for supporting me, and God bless us all.
That concludes our proclamations and awards for this evening, so we'll give a brief pause for those who wish to go home and get out of the hot office here, and we'll reconvene in about 5 minutes. we're back. It's 8:02 roughly. With the consent of my colleagues, I'd like to move again a little out of our normal operating procedure here to move up into the resolutions 1 through 4 out of order. May I have a motion to approve consent 1 through 4?
So moved.
Second. Any comments from the dais? I know Ms. Bork has something she's going to read on behalf of Anthony.
These are Administrator Farrell's comments. He's sorry that he's not here this evening, but he would like to congratulate Susanna Karis on her promotion to Economic and Business Development and Sustainability Director. Susanna's previous experience in zoning, planning, and her current position in code enforcement will be extremely valuable in this position as we look to continue to expand the outreach of this department. Nancy Ross, he would like to welcome her as our new Human Resources Director, who has over 15 years of experience in the HR field. She has handled all aspects of human resources and will be able to hit the ground running in this new role, and he looks forward to working with Nancy and improving on processes that are already in place. So thank you. And I guess Jacqueline was unable to be here, but he welcomes her as well to the part-time administrative assistant position in the Economic and Business Development and Sustainability Office. Jacqueline's experience in social media will be an asset to that department as well. So,
Thank you. Any other comments from Daz? Okay.
So,
Frank?
I'd just like to reiterate those comments. I didn't get a chance to interview all, but as one of the personnel liaisons, I did get the opportunity to be with Susanna and Nancy, and we are very happy they're both going to be taking these roles on. I think they'll be a great fit for the positions, and I look forward to seeing them as successful as we expect them to be. And also congratulations to Joe and Jacqueline on their promotions as well.
I'll reiterate the same sentiment from Frank, and we've had a conversation that we've been looking for an HR person for a long time, and I'm glad to have Nancy here and Susanna also to help with her talents. So any other comments from the floor on items 1 through 4 only? Please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Mendel, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner, Block 86, Lot 32155, Champlain Road. In regard to consent 1, the resolution authorizing the hiring of Nancy Ross to the position of Human Resources Director. Is this a new position?
Yes.
Is she replacing, so she's not
New
replacing
position.
someone?
New position.
So who has been doing this work prior to creating this position?
Administrator Ferreira and Ms. Costa,
And who?
and Nancy Costa have been splitting.
So what necessitates having someone, a new position here when that work was being handled by?
The size of the township has grown that it's needed to have someone that's directly.
I'm sorry, what?
The size of the town has grown to a staff that necessitates the fact of having a person directly in charge of HR.
Is that over recent years, or is this like an ongoing?
This is something we've been looking at for a while. It's a scenario where, given the size of the township, as the mayor noted, we have a significant number of employees. There's a lot of HR responsibility, and frankly, our administrator doesn't have the bandwidth to be able to be our HR person as well. So we think this is more than justified to bring in someone to handle all of the responsibilities of a human resources director for a municipality of our size.
Do you have a count of how many employees, how many people are employed by Hillsborough?
I don't know the exact number, but
182.
182.
182.
It's a small company.
And that's not including all the seasonal and part-time
Right, yeah.
through recreation. That's well
Probably
over
over 200.
probably 200, give or take.
Okay. Consent number 2, resolution authorizing the promotion of Joe Maturin to the position of Parks Operator to the Parks Department. Is this also a newly created position?
No, it's a promotion. says right there, promotion, so he's moving up from one position in the parks to another.
So who had this position prior to Mr. Maturin getting this position?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I can get that information if you'd like.
Did that person leave or resign or retire, or that now this position was open?
I think it's not a new position or a replacement even. It's just a promotion to an operator level because there's certain competencies that need to be done to get promoted. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
But so he's met those requirements and he's being promoted to operator.
and we've had a few folks over the past several meetings in the area of DPW and parks be moved, because we did have months ago, I don't even know when, somebody did, I think, retire or something. So these have all been, people have gone and been promoted. So if you go back on other agendas, you'll see it's been a few people.
All right, thank you. Consent number 3, resolution authorizing the promotion of Susanna Karis to Economic Business Development Sustainable Director. Is this a new position?
No. No.
No. So whose place is she taking?
She is replacing eventually Mr. David Coyce, who's sitting right next to her, who will be moving up to another position. So it's basically backfilling a position that is, Mr. Coyce is being promoted up to planner.
So until Mr. Coyce is promoted, there are going to be 2 directors?
No, it's effective October 1st.
October 1st.
October 1st? Mr. Coyce is going to get a...
He is transitioning between both departments, and
I'm sorry, what?
he is transitioning, Mr. Coyce is transitioning between both departments, so he is spending a lot of time in the planning department and still trying to do his job, so to be prepared to hit the ground running come the beginning of next year when our planner retires. So he's got plenty of work to do, so Ms. Susanna is going to help.
I'm sorry.
She's going to fill the position in October as he starts to move more towards, so he has to train her and also get trained and be ready to hit the ground running in the planning department. So he's got a lot on his plate.
In which department?
Planning.
Mr.
Maskey will be
Mr.
retired.
Maskey is going to retire?
Yes.
And consent number 4, resolution authorizing the hiring of Jacqueline Zeiss for the position of part-time administrative assistant to the Economic and Business Development Department. So that's the same department where there's going to be a change of director. Is there more activity going on here that you need to have an assistant?
She's part-time, just there to help with the needs as we can as a part-time position, doing work for the sustainable and for the EDBC and anything that needs to be done on a part-time basis. So it's 20 hours a week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we have a roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delacorte?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes, congratulations.
Yes,
Mayor
congratulations. and Welcome to Hillsborough. And feel free to go home now. Thank you for allowing us to move that up to our agenda. Thank you. Have a good night. David,
Thank you.
safe travel, guys.
Congratulations.
No new business at this time, so we will now move on to public comment on new business and matters not on the agenda. Ms. Borick, please read the statement regarding public comment.
The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. You will be given 1 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as a question and answer session. However, comments are to be addressed to the mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. First up.
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I was at the last Hillsborough Township Planning Board meeting. The applicant was M&M Realty regarding the Glengarry parcel. But I had asked, because that's the same developer, Jack Morris, I had asked if the JSM at Hillsborough application involved a settlement agreement, and Mr. Maskey had answered no. So there had been a zone change ordinance for the properties of JSM at Hillsborough. So I wanted to find out why was the zone change for those two properties if there was no settlement agreement.
For which two properties?
The properties of JSM at Hillsborough, the application for JSM at Hillsborough, which
So the Glengarry?
which is the old Cost Cutters site. And that's under the affordable housing.
No, there's only one property there, it's
Requirements?
not two properties there.
There were two lots that were going to be merged.
Okay. So you're asking why there was not a settlement agreement for that? There was no settlement agreement for
I'm
that.
saying that Mr. Maskey said there is no settlement agreement. So what I'm asking is why was there a zone change ordinance passed for those properties when did Judge Thomas C. Miller order that? Or why was the zone change for that applicant if there's no settlement agreement?
We can go into an agreement to build something that's been abandoned if it benefits both the township and its population. That doesn't stop us from entering in agreements, and that doesn't have to be a settlement agreement to change the zone to build something.
No, I'm not questioning an agreement. I'm asking why was the zone changed for those two properties? And this is the developer that is going to be involved with 3 affordable housing developments. This is JSM at Hillsborough, the former Cost Cutters. Then you've got Glengarry, and then also, I don't know if it's been sold to them yet, but that Sherman parcel for Phase 2 is also supposed to be developed by Jack Morris's company, M&M. So why does one developer qualify for so many affordable housing?
Well, I'm not sure what your question is, because you started the question with,
Okay.
why did we change the zone?
Yes, that's my
So,
question.
because we thought it was the right thing to do. Simple as that.
It's in the TC zone,
You know what?
it's in the town center Gateway A zone. So Gateway A zone has,
But it wasn't before.
It-
The
well,
thing is,
it was.
changed. The zone
it
for
was
those
always in the
properties
Gateway
was
A.
changed.
It was always in Gateway A, that didn't change. The township, what was changed was the allowment for them to build apartments in the lot in the back.
Okay,
That's the only thing that was
And I
allowed.
believe Community Delcor answered the question.
And that was approved over a year ago, that application.
I know that it was approved over a year ago.
And
but-
you asked back then.
But there was ambiguity as to whether there was a settlement agreement or not.
There was never
And at the
ambiguity, it
last-
was
and at the
never, it
last
was never
meeting,
said that there was a
Mr.
settlement
Mackey
agreement.
stated that there was no settlement agreement.
That's
So then
correct.
my question was why would the township committee grant a zone change to that applicant?
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none. We'll move on to public hearing 2022-13, ordinance amending the salary ordinance of the Township of Hillsborough, include new positions and set salary ranges. The ordinance sets the salary range for the Human Resource Director, which was approved on consent just a few minutes ago, and that is why we are having to amend that. May I have a motion open to public hearing on ordinance 2022-13?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Any discussion from the dais?
Oh, Mayor, as we just discussed when we introduced Nancy Ross, with the new HR director, this ordinance simply just establishes the salary range for that position.
Right. Anyone else? Okay. Any discussions from the floor, comments from the floor regarding 2022-13?
Maria Janicek. So the resolution states that the salary is going to be $80,000.
Not this ordinance, no.
Huh?
It sets a range.
This sets a range. The previous ordinance that you spoke on,
I'm not talking about ordinance, I'm talking about the resolution for the human resources.
Right, her hiring salary.
the one we already did.
Right. But this ordinance is setting the range, which is all this is about, of setting the range for that position of $45,000 to $95,000. That's all that is up
I
for.
understand, so the range for the position of human resources director is $55,000 to $95,000.
That's correct.
And the new director is going to be receiving a salary of $80,000.
That's correct.
Why is it so much higher than the initial range? It's closer to the,
That is the salary that the job warranties in this market, bottom line.
Actually, most applicants are getting paid significantly higher than what we hired our Nancy at.
So then why is the range set so low at 45,000?
Because that's where we set it up, because it's the first time we've had
And because there could be a situation where we have someone that's a relatively inexperienced person. That is not the case in this scenario. So her experience dictates her at a higher end on the range for a director level position.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Motion to close and adopt.
Motion closed on adopt, I apologize.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante?
Yes. Introduction of new ordinances, 2022-14, an ordinance appropriating certain monies held by the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, for the purchase of various capital improvements on the amount of $447,000 in and for the Township of Hillsborough. Further consideration of public hearing will be held on September 13th, 2022. Motion to introduce 2022-14.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante?
Yes. So now we are on to the consent agenda. We have anyone wishing to take any of these resolutions separately on days? Seeing none, okay, may I have a motion to approve consent agenda 5 through 24?
So moved. So moved.
We're not got to you yet, hang on. We're just,
We're talking about ordinance 2022.
It's only introduction.
introduction only, not for,
Introduction.
yes. Please sit down, thank you.
So I have a motion, I need a second for the, thank you, Mr.
Second.
Committeeman Britting, okay.
Any comments from the dais? I would just like to highlight a couple there, since Deputy Mayor Erickson is not here. She was working tirelessly with regards to the Resolution 12 of getting crosswalk signs installed at some crosswalks that are deemed dangerous, which we're going out to purchase through Somerset Cooperative over off of New Amel Road for our parks. So congratulations to Ms. Erickson for getting that accomplished, because she's been working on that for a long time. And then the other is that if you notice that we are working on getting out to bid the Phase 1 cleaning of Green Hills Development, which was the area in question that was flooded back in Ida. So I promised that we'd be getting that done today, so that is going out to get to bid to get that first phase done as promised. And then we're also continuing to work on getting things appropriate and funded and done for Phase 2, hopefully not in the too distant future. That's all I have to say. Anyone else? Okay, any comments from the floor on consent agenda 5 through 24?
Maria Janusik? Okay, so we did 4. Consent number 5, resolution authorizing permanent status of various employees within the police department. So there were several police officers who were in a probationary kind of period for the first year. They were hired at a certain salary, and then during that probation period, they received salary increases. Why is that if they're not considered permanent employees yet? Why do they get a salary increase?
Well,
It's part of the union contract that's been negotiated with the township.
right, and that's not actually part of this consent, it's just making them permanent, which they've been through the probation period, and it's time for them to make them permanent status.
Consent number 11, resolution authorizing professional services contract to Padoni Associates for engineering and inspection services related to stormwater outfall repair. During the planning board hearings, this information was provided that an owner of a property who has some kind of stormwater basin or whatever is required to maintain that. So what are Padoni brothers doing? What is Padoni doing as far as?
Panonis are long dead. So per the DEP regulations, we had to go out to every outfall in Township of Hillsborough, map it, and grade it on the areas of need of repair in various states. So this contract is after doing that inspection is now we have to go out to bid and do all the work of doing the repairs required per DEP.
And this is done on stormwater basins that should be maintained by the owner of the property?
And no, anything in the Township of Hillsborough, whether it's public or private, that is a outfall, storm basin, bridge that has a tunnel going underneath it, anywhere that water flows throughout the township had to be mapped and inspected per DEP.
And how often is that done?
How often? This is the first time we've had to do it at this extent because it's a new mandate from DEP.
But the requirement is every 5 years.
Every 5 years after this.
Every 5 years after? This is the first time and then every 5 years after?
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's an unfunded mandate.
Yeah, it's about $1 million. To be honest, what it's going to cost to do all the repairs.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
It's going to estimate of about $1 million to do all those repairs.
I was bemoaning that it's an unfunded mandate from the state of New Jersey, meaning a requirement that is given by the state, yet no funds attached to it.
Obviously, very, very necessary.
I'm not disagreeing.
No, but it's still $1 million.
I'm hearing what you're saying as far as the cost. But on the other hand, there's some things that money gets, not talking about Hillsborough, but money gets frittered away, and this is something that's really, really important.
Right now, the burden is going to cost you, the taxpayer, to have those repairs, which they need to be done, they need to be done. So unfunded mandate is what Mr. Thompson is saying, is that there's no grants available for shared cost on this program as of right now.
Consent number 16, resolution authorizing the purchase of two F-250 pickup trucks with snow plows through the Morris County Co-op. Are these replacing?
Yes, replacing service
equipment?
replacing vehicles that are old and that need to be put out of service.
So you're going to replace,
Two.
get rid of two? Okay, and consent number 17, resolution authorizing the qualified purchasing agent to solicit bids for a 10-wheel dump truck for Public Works. And it says here that's replacing a 1999 dump truck.
That's correct.
Nothing new has been bought in the last 23 years?
Well,
The dump,
we've bought other trucks, but this one we've repaired and is, again, at the service life that it is. And we try and milk on these as long as that we can because the cost to replace these are substantial. So it gets to a point where the repairs are beyond economical and it's time to replace it. So after 23 years, it's time to replace it.
so there's no other dump truck in
We have other
Hillsborough,
ones.
just this one?
No, we have a couple. Those do a lot of the plowing on the big roads and the mountains especially.
Okay, so this had been purchased brand new? and
We
now
haven't
it's being
purchased it
replaced?
yet. We're going out to bid to get it.
You're talking about in
I'm talking about
1999?
the one from 1999, that was purchased new, or was that purchased?
Probably.
Because sometimes.
I'm gonna say yes,
It was
municipalities-
purchased. Yeah.
Sometimes municipalities get things through an auction or whatever, an older vehicle. So was this new and owned by Hillsborough for the last 23 years?
You got us on that one.
I can't answer that.
Can't definitively say that as we purchased it, new, but I
Probably,
would
but
guess,
don't know.
yes. We don't.
I'm not sure it's relevant and why that would be of interest, but either way, we've owned it for a long time, and we have a really talented public works group that they keep our vehicles operating as long as possible, so that we don't have to continue to replenish our vehicles. But at some point, the trucks and equipment that we have, we need to replace.
Consent number 18, resolution acknowledging the annual audit for the year 2021 of Hillsborough Township, Somerset County, New Jersey. So what specifically, this is something that has to be done by the Township Committee?
No.
No.
This is every, I think, is it 3 years, we get audited by the,
No, we
You
can.
do an annual audit.
Annual.
You have an auditor that audits your books every single year, and the audit has been complete for this, for the 2021 year.
Okay, but I think it says something here that the governing body has to look at a certain part of this audit, and is that what was done? Is that, I mean, is this what has to be done here?
their corrective action plan, which they do every year.
The auditors provide recommendations and a plan to, if they find something that could be a better process, and we have to go through and ensure that we are aligned with it and accept the corrective action plan.
Consent number 19, resolution accepting and approving the corrective action plan for the 2021 Township audit. So what needed to be corrected?
I'm not sure if it's in that resolution or not. But, let's see. If there is anything specifically listed, but it's just approving that we've received the corrective action plan and we will do
You
what
can
we...
obtain that from the CFO anytime. If you contact Ms. Costa anytime during the week, normal business hours, she could provide that information to you.
Okay. Consent number 23, resolution authorizing a shared services agreement for shared municipal court between the Township of Hillsborough and Township of Branchburg. You don't say how much Branchburg is going to be paying towards this shared service.
I think we talked about this last meeting, but it's $55,000 roughly for the first quarter because they're starting late, and then it's $200,000 for the second year with I think a 5% increase per year on top of that.
So when is this shared service with Branchburg going into effect?
I think it's
The
October.
target date is October 1st.
October 1st. And consent number 24, resolution authorizing the health officer to fill part-time positions as required to support the strengthening public health grant. There are two persons on this list, Elena Kromeyer and Robin Vlamis. Now, they're shown on the claims list as getting grant money. Are they going to be hired here, and also whatever they're doing where they're getting grant money, is that going to still continue?
May I?
Yep.
So they were initially being paid through a grant, however, now that process is being changed, and now they are being paid through payroll as indicated in this resolution. So they will know after this is done, then you won't see them on the grant. Once, like, the rest of October, once August finishes, once this grant comes into effect. So they were paid by a grant and a purchase order, which you saw on the bill list previously. That will cease to exist, and they are going to be paid through salary, through payroll, I should say.
Okay, when is this effective? When they're going to become part-time employees?
September, right? It's the end of August.
Whatever it says on the resolution. I believe
Doesn't give it date.
September, but
Yeah.
I have to verify. I don't know that to be a 100%.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from, good evening.
Hi, Sonia Lock with Muscle River Road.
Can you raise up? Very good.
I just wanted to, real quick, let you know I heard the answer about the flood stuff on the thing. I know it's old business, but I heard it and I was right here. So thank you for that. In regards to the consent agenda, the item regarding the flashing crosswalk signs, which locations were those again?
Our first two that we're doing are going to be on Amwell Road by Pleasant View Road intersection to go to AVM, and then down by, Auden? Beekman?
I have to look at, hold on.
Over by the soccer fields over here. So,
If there's an extra sign or if there's an opportunity to purchase another sign, we would really love to have one over in Claremont. the intersection of Claremont and Anka, where most of Upper Road is. My kid has a friend, a close friend right across the street that, it'd be really nice for them to be able to get together without having a parent cross and whatnot.
So we plan on doing this maybe for the next 6 or 7 years in the budget. So we'll take an advisement to any areas. Obviously, it's usually most people going to parks and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But those will be the high priority first, but we'll always look at anything that the police department talks to us also they feel is dangerous.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, seeing none. Motion to approve and consent, we did that, so, no, we have just a vote. Motion to adopt and then vote, we've done. Roll call, please.
That's what you're looking for.
Thank you. Roll call.
Committeeman Britton.
Yes.
Committeeman Belcourt.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes.
And Mayor LaPlante.
Yes. Claims list 2022-13. Motion to approve claims list 2022-13.
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Britting. And any comments from the dais? Seeing none. Comments from the floor on claims list 2022-13? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britton.
Yes.
Committeeman Belcourt.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante.
Yes. So now that the room finally got cool enough, we will now conclude our meeting. We will now have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britton.
Yes.
Committeeman Belcourt.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante.
Yes, we are adjourned 8:35. Have a nice weekend.